And it is a quiet business if you are Director of Fiscal Affairs for the International Monetary Fund, and that would be Vitor Gaspar, the former finance minister of Portugal, and his quiet and important work on fiscal responsibility for the IMF. And then the Trump administration goes after you, and you're flipped on your. Did you get any sleep last night, Vitor?
Absolutely. I sleep wonderfully. That's one of my strong points. What is going on in terms of U.S. tax reform is extremely important. I think it's important to underline that the positions of the IMF on U.S. tax reform have been made public regularly, year after year, in our Article 4. Last time, it was this July, and we have advocated strongly for U.S. tax reform because the U.S. tax code is badly in need of simplification, in particular when it comes to the corporate income tax. The corporate income tax rate is too high. There are too many exemptions, too many loopholes. Right. Complexity is tremendous, and complexity is particularly relevant on the international dimension, which is the core issue for the International Monetary Fund.
Within the uproar of the last 24 hours with the Bloomberg News article, and here's Sam Fleming in the Financial Times, and this is from a quote from Dr. Gaspar, and the idea here of a response to Mick Mulvaney of the Trump administration. The idea that one would produce additional revenue by lowering tax rates is something that, being a conceptual possibility, is rarely documented empirically. We do not find systematic evidence that increasing tax progressivity hurts growth. And the key thing in your work is the linkage, as Jason mentioned earlier, of tax reform over to fiscal debt dynamics. Do you assume a larger U.S. debt and deficit with the tax reform as proposed by the Trump administration?
No. At this point in time, we don't have sufficient detail to factor in the plan, U.S. tax reform, so we cannot really estimate its macroeconomic impact, its impact on employment and growth, its impact on public debt dynamics.